Hello, this is Dana McCallum from Post Perspective, and thank you for joining us for our virtual celebration of IBC 2020. We are very happy to be here with our good friend from Xytech, Greg Dolan. Hi, Greg.
Dana, how are you today? It's great to almost see you.
And it is great to virtually see you. I've missed that face. So I don't know about you. I'm a little sad. Being in Amsterdam for IBC is actually doesn't feel like work to me. It feels like fun. And your booth, the Xytech booth, has always been, for people who are watching, our home away from home. They've got coffee, a storage closet, and Heineken, which they so
And
gratefully share with us.
and good laughs and and people with bizarre attitudes. Yeah. I mean, this is the first September in, I don't know, 25 years. I'm not going to have intense jet lags.
Yeah.
And and for those of you who don't know, Xytech is located in Southern California, where the temperature this weekend will be approximately the same as the surface of the sun. Um, but don't
Sure.
worry, we can't go anyplace, so we'll just stay in our homes and bake, which should be awesome.
Well, geez, now I'm going to be missing that time on your stand in Amsterdam even more. And yes, the laughs, which we've had many, are always the best part.
Well, let's keep our fingers crossed and hope all this debacle passes us and we can get back to something that looks like some version of normal in 2021. Because 2020 is having its way with us, and not in the most politest of ways.
Not in the best way, which is an excellent segue, actually, to asking how you, Xytech, as an organization, have been getting along through this and what you've been doing to support your clients through this.
Well, that's a great question. Thanks for that. First, being in Southern California, one of the real challenges of Southern California is you have to be conscious of the fact that the ground shakes here, and we have fires, and you could lose power really at any given time. So we have contingency plans at Xytech to move our offices remotely really quickly. All of our business systems, all of our production systems are up in the cloud. So we were in I guess the second week in March, we decided to close down. We were able to move ourselves both here and in London into a completely remote footprint, within about 24 hours. The same thing is with our development staff out in China. We have a number of employees out in China, and they were able to go remote almost immediately. We've made investments in the last number of years in this technology that we're using here, Zoom. Most of our client-facing staff have cameras, already had lighting, already had microphones at home. Lots of our consultants do lots of their work remotely anyway, so we were pretty well positioned to do it. And because we're a disparate company with staff sort of scattered around the country and overseas, I think we've been able to sort of help our clients with, okay, this is how we do this stuff remotely, and work our way through that stuff. So in that regard, we've lost very little steam with most of our projects. I'm not going to tell you that they are all as smooth as they once were. There are a lot of challenges in people's personal lives. There's been people are dealing with real tragedy. Our clients are dealing with real tragedies, personal tragedies, and of course trying to figure out how to make their businesses operable in this environment. But I think we've demonstrated that we're good partners. And sometimes being a good partner isn't just having really good software. It's being able to bend yourself around the needs of your customer. Lots of people have used words like "be of service" sort of glibly over the years, and I think when something like this happens, I think people get to see, who wants to actually be of service in these times, and I think we've stepped up to the plate really well. I'm really proud of all my teammates at Xytech.
That's great to hear. And yes, people really are separating themselves these days.
Yep.
It's something to see. And also in these times, so we just stay on the 2020 through line. Cloud more important than ever. It's been talked about for a while now. We are now hurtling into adoption that people might not have seen coming this hard, this fast. What has Xytech been doing in that space?
It's funny. I just thinking in my head the last time we spoke, I think was at HPA where they were doing sort of cloud production. Thinking, wouldn't it be great if we had to do this one day? Fast forward 60 days, and yes, that's what we're going to be doing. Xytech made a move to a cloud several years ago. We now offer a complete hosted cloud solution in Microsoft Azure, a completely sort of turnkey managed environment. And that's really picked up traction in the last couple of years. Of course, in the last several months, as our customers just have a raft of issues to deal with, the idea of having to provision up networking equipment or to have to worry about us, the fact that we can step in and just sort of take that has been really important. Also, what's really important is shortening the amount of time from, hey, look, I would like a MediaPulse system, to using a MediaPulse system. We've had to spin systems down and spin systems back up in record time, and using the cloud really allows us to move incredibly quickly. And we've used lots of this time to make sure that our staff is completely trained up. We've moved our technical staff into a 24/7, 365 footprint, so that there's always someone monitoring this, and allows us to throw lots of resources at a project, almost instantly. The idea is when a client has a few minutes to spare, is to swarm them with resources to get out all the information we need to get out, so we can put a system in place and really alleviate them from any of the other concerns. They're concerned with running their business. We don't want them to be concerned with running our software.
Right, makes sense. And if we were at IBC now, I would be asking you, so what's new for the show? And I think people are still celebrating the seasons, as we're calling them, NAB season, IBC season. So what do you have new on offer?
Yeah, I wonder what that's going to do to us now that most of my professional career has rotated around those two milestones. There's really sort of like four areas that we're driving ahead with, at Xytech with our MediaPulse platform. Always investing in the cloud. Geo replication is on there now, so we can go be across. A system could be across multiple geographical time zones, not just for failover, but for performance. So that continues to be a big part of it. We've introduced a new graphic UI into our Media Orchestrator. That's the part of the software that takes a look at all the individual tasks that go into media manufacturing. That new graphical UI not just makes it easy and sort of drag and drop to put together a workflow, but it completely mimics what we're doing in transmission, so that all of our graphical things all look the same, and they're all operating the same, which is great for us. We've made a number of huge changes in what is our bidding module. That's the module that basically says, what's this project going to look like? We've blown that apart so that now you can create a budget for an entire season with little mini budgets for each episode or even each shot, and they all consolidate up together. Also allows you to do all of your planning from right inside the bid itself. Before you get anywhere near to committing a resource, you could see what the impact of budget changes are. And sort of on the back of that is a new functionality with capacity management. How many things or people or widgets do I have available at any given time to do something? It could be people of a certain skill set. It could be stages. It could be if we're putting together a transmission path. How many circuits do I have of a certain service? So we have that. We put a huge investment in the automation of resource allocation. So the idea is not to have people select the resource, but to have the system say, hi, this is the best resource we think. Do you like it? And if you like it, you grab it. And that last little bit is super important because it's leading into what we hope to be showing at a show that used to be called NAB in the month that used to be called April, which is the introduction into this automatic resource selection of AI, where we start to. So now in 2020, we're going to be offering up solutions based upon what we know. And then in 2021, as people say no and alter it, we're going to remember those patterns and take those patterns into our algorithms so that we hone down the choices. The idea of just making this end to end from the time I requisition a piece of work to the time I reconcile that piece of work, to just make the clickiness, making sure that nobody has to click anything unless they want to alter a pattern that's already been set. And we're really excited about it. One of the nice things about not having a trade show is that you just keep developing. And so you
Right.
don't stop it for a month, you just keep developing. It's a little bit of a challenge. One of the challenges is getting these early incubator ideas in front of customers to see what they think. But technologies like this and some intrepid field personnel who aren't afraid of you know, death. You know, we're,
Just
we're,
that.
yeah, we seem to be getting it done.
So as we look forward to 2021, and boy, are we looking forward, hopefully, to 2021.
Oy.
I was looking forward to 2020, so who knew? Automation and AI, those seem to be the main areas of exploration for you going
Yeah,
forward.
it really is. We've in the last couple of years, we've really put a ton of work into the selection of resources, personnel resources, lots of personnel management rules, new crewing modules. So the next idea is how do we make the selection of large amounts of resources automatic? How do we look at factors and whether it's a signal going offline and we have to redo a pathway, or or a production gets hit with COVID. I mean, well, that's one of the things that we're looking at for 2021, and we're going to be dealing with
Right.
this for a while.
Interesting.
What happens if a production has to retask itself for COVID? There is a cascading number of things interrelated with 80 other productions that have to be redone, and we think that this is a really great place with it for it. Along with making sure that everything that we do works remotely, works on a phone, works on a tablet. I think making sure that your software works on any browser, on any device, and virtually any amount of bandwidth has never been more important. And for those people who have kids at home doing remote learning, I think the ability to allocate bandwidth properly is a big part of all of our lives. Thank God we're doing this in the afternoon, Dana, because if we were doing this in the morning, trust me, with what's going on in the other room, this would be like AOL. You'd actually hear a dial tone as I talk.
Believe me, I hear you. And we've just said it before, we're all going to have to work together to get through this. We used to say it just sort of haphazardly, but now, boy, it couldn't be more true. And
Yeah. Well,
the tools are helping.
I think it's interesting. You see people who just they get to understand how important the culture of the clients we support is. Whether it's episodic or feature film or even sports broadcasting. These are important cultural touchstones that sort of make life more pleasant. And for companies like Xytech and people like us who sit way in the background, just essentially trying to make it more efficient for our customers. Obviously we're huge fans of it, and I think it's really gratifying to sort of see the audience appreciate this business as much as we all do.
Yes, I mean we're not essential workers, but there's been a lot of content consumed that you could put forward has been essential to a lot of households. So we need to
Well,
keep
I
at it.
don't know. It feels sort of essential, doesn't it? I think for mental health purposes, I think it's essential. I mean, look, I might have to do a family thing in the next couple of weeks. I'm trying to make sure I land at someplace where Tenet is showing.
That's just a good plan. That's
Yeah,
just a good plan.
yeah,
Well,
$30 for the ticket and 1,500 for the airline. It better
other than
have
that, it's all
popcorn.
good. Well, Greg, thank you. Thank you for always making us laugh. Thank you for the update on the technology, because this is a great way to hopefully be getting the word out to people you're not going to be seeing in person in Amsterdam.
Great. Well, really appreciate it, Dana. No kidding. It really is great to see you. And hopefully someday, not too long from now, we can maybe, when the heat goes down, we could sit down 12 feet apart and get a cup of coffee.
Or our Heineken, maybe in
Boom.
Amsterdam next year. Okay, so that is Dana McCallum signing off with Greg Dolan as we celebrate IBC season 2020. Thanks for watching.